We quit our jobs 6 years ago when we were living in China. We came with an idea that we wanted to find the next best place to live in the world, and we thought China at the time was the best place until the pollution went off the Richter scale. So we kind of started our business simultaneously with trying to find the next best place to live. So we came with this idea that we should speed date cities around the world for 2 years. So we'd move cities every 2 to 3 months. And then to finance it, we decided to launch this venture. And we were like, we could find enough clients along the way that we can teach PowerPoint to fund that 2-year dream. So it's been about 6.5 years now that it went from just kind of let's just travel around the world and find some clients and finance this just to have some fun and find the next best place to live, to now it's kind of our full-time gig that we can take kind of anywhere in the world with us.
This is the Ideas Lab podcast, where you can learn from great creative and entrepreneurial minds how to turn your ideas into original businesses, books, and brands. Because in a crowded world, it pays to stand out. This is your host, John Williams, best-selling author and founder of the Ideas Lab London. If you're interested in what's working today in online marketing, or if you'd like to create a business that you can run online so that you can live anywhere in the world and travel all over the world, then this episode is for you. Taylor Croonquist is co-founder with his wife Camille of Nuts and Bolts Speed Training. They run advanced training courses online for PowerPoint users, and they've turned this into a thriving business, recently increasing their monthly traffic from 70,000 people a month to 200,000 people a month. So we get into the deep detail of how he did that, how he's brought so many people to his website, how he's managed to convert those people into paying customers and create a business that's allowed him to live a good life wherever he wants to live in the world. On top of that, you'll also hear the story of how Taylor and Camille left their good corporate jobs to set up this business and then experimented and speed dated cities, as he put it, to find out where in the world they wanted to live, and why, in the end, they decided on Ubud in Bali, where this episode is recorded. So don't be surprised if you hear some typical Bali sounds in the background of lizards, dogs, and mopeds. Taylor Croonquist, thank you very much for coming over to my place here in Bali.
Thank you for having me over.
So tell me what your business is, just so we can brief people first of all.
Sure. So we 6 years ago started a advanced PowerPoint training website. So looking to teach corporates, which is what the field or the industry we came from, how to use PowerPoint faster and more efficiently.
And this is a particular niche, isn't it? Because it's not just like beginner's guide to PowerPoint. How do you describe your audience?
Yeah. So I mean, our courses themselves focus at a kind of more advanced level. So it's not trying to be a PowerPoint 101. So like the actual courses you would buy are the kind of more advanced consultants, bankers, marketer, people in finance, business development buy those courses. But then I think we'll talk about traffic too. But the way we generate traffic is actually going for the lower level stuff online. Yeah.
And so, management consultants famously live on PowerPoint, don't they? It's like, I've got a PowerPoint slide deck.
Well, a lot of companies do them. A lot of companies, it's if the classic joke is if it's not in PowerPoint, it's in PowerPoint. And people will be like, oh, I'm using PowerPoint for things it wasn't supposed to be used for. But it's like, but that's how PowerPoint's used. Like we make for posters and flyers, and we do all of our photo editing in PowerPoint. Yeah. People are like, what? Why wouldn't you use Photoshop? It's like, it's faster in PowerPoint. So
that's interesting.
There's a ton of stuff you can do in PowerPoint that people don't even think about doing that's just faster.
You'll look down on this, but I use Keynote, which is Apple's equivalent. And I use that for image editing because I just can't be bothered to get my head around Photoshop. And I thought I was just some sort of weirdo for doing that.
No.
So it's not that such as bad.
I mean, we do
it's
everything.
Great for doing collages and things like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So, and this business does very well because tell us how your life is set up now. You live here in Bali?
We quit our jobs 6 years ago when we were living in China. So we came up with this idea. We came with an idea that we wanted to find the next best place to live in the world, and we thought China at the time was the best place until the pollution went off the Richter scale. So we kind of started our business simultaneously with trying to find the next best place to live. So we came with this idea that we should speed date cities around the world for 2 years. So we'd move cities every 2 to 3 months. And then to finance it, we decided to, launch this venture, which at the beginning was just the very toes in the water. This wasn't trying to be a company that goes public. We weren't trying to make this our career. We were just like, how do we buy airplane tickets and food and housing? And we were like, we could find enough clients along the way that we can teach PowerPoint to fund that 2-year dream. And then 2 years in, it was working pretty well. It was covering all of our costs plus a little. So we said, well, let's do a third year and explore some other places. And we did that. And then at the end of 3 years, it was working even better. And then we moved to Bali because we just want to stop moving. And we've been here for about 3 years. So it's been about 6.5 years now that it went from just kind of let's just travel around the world and find some clients and finance this just to have some fun and find the next best place to live, to now it's kind of our full-time gig that we can take kind of anywhere in the world with us.
Wow. Camille, so you're already together with Camille before you...
Yep. We were dating at the time.
Adventure.
Now we're married.
Did you meet in China?
Yep. I used to say she's my Chinese girlfriend, even though she's not Chinese at all.
So you're both from the States, and you're from Seattle.
I'm from Seattle. She was... her mom's French, her dad's from Minnesota. She was born in Hong Kong, lived in Beijing, then New York, then Canada. So I mean, she's kind of like always been trotting around the world.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. So you ended up in Bali and you thought this is the place.
Yeah, we basically, we're looking for a place where we didn't have to keep living out of our suitcase. We just did what anybody could do, is just started asking people who have also been traveling. And so we just found other travelers. Instead of all the places you've been, where would you move back to for 6 months? Like, where would you be super happy? And by the fourth pretty cool couple that said I'd move back to Ubud, Bali in a heartbeat, which honestly, I didn't even know where Ubud, Bali was. I just said, well, let's just go there. And worst case, we'll get there 2 months in. If we don't like it, we'll just buy a plane ticket and go somewhere else.
And you never left.
And we never left. It's just amazing.
I mean, I've heard of people, I held a meetup here once a few years ago, and I said, how did you get here? And I got everyone to go around and say, and people were saying like, I came here for a weekend and, on the way somewhere else, man, I just never left.
Yeah.
So it does have this kind of magical pull.
Yeah, and I've never been to a place in my life. I mean, I've been to Hawaii and all these places where people say, I want to come back. I'd love to come back sometime. But Bali, for some reason, has people who are like religiously coming back. They're like, I do my 1 year yoga retreat, or I mean, I've just never seen so many people come back to a place so consistently. It's pretty amazing.
What do you think it is?
I don't know. I mean, the Ubud scene, I think it's, obviously you have the tropical environment, the heat, the fruit. It just has a vibe, though. People are kind of turning into better versions of themselves here. They want to go hiking. They want to try this. They become yes people is the way I like to think of it, where like they're kind of like broken out of their kind of norm. They're here. They meet all these other people who are traveling, doing interesting things, doing yoga, and they just become yes people. So
yeah, I just had lunch with John Spender I was talking about earlier. And he's Australian, and he's so positive. That seems to be the trend in Ubud. It's like anything is possible.
Yeah.
He's so relaxed and chilled out, and everyone eats healthily because you can get really good food really cheaply, and it's not a big drinking culture and stuff. So, yeah, it's a pretty cool place. And so, you're in the business. What you're running is online courses. Are these passive courses, or are these ones where you're teaching, or you and Camille are teaching?
Yeah, most of them are video courses. So someone can opt in at any time, gets access to a dashboard. They get 24-hour access, can watch them as many times as they want, download the exercise files, and go through it.
Right.
We then do like monthly webinars on top of that, where people can come and ask questions, or we'll show the latest tricks and features. We don't have to keep updating our videos and stuff like that.
Okay.
But yeah, primarily just video courses.
And what kind of price points are these? Is there a whole range?
Yeah, and we're starting to make lower end price point courses. For the longest time, we've just sold courses kind of like $300 or $400 a course, because we just didn't want to. We thought that's kind of what our advanced, content was, and we didn't have a $10 course version of it. But we're starting to kind of create smaller, bite-sized courses that we're going to see if that works for more people. Yeah,
and you were telling me the other day that your traffic is huge now. How much traffic do you get to your website? What your website is that? Remind me the URL.
nutsandboltspeedtraining.com.
That's right, nutsandboltspeedtraining.com.
In hindsight, we would have changed our name to something else, but at the time, that's what we came up with, and we ran with it and never looked back.
Now you've got SEO. You're not messing with it.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. So, and how have you built the traffic around that so successfully? Is it one place and most of it's coming from?
Yeah, I'd say 95% of it's all just Google traffic.
Right.
So we get about 200,000 people a month on average about now are hitting our website.
Wow.
And most of our people, which we've started to create more content kind of geared toward that, it's, someone sitting at their desk, they're building a PowerPoint, they get stuck on something.
Yeah.
What does everyone do? They Google it, and then they land on our website, and then we have solutions for them, and we have a chance for them to opt in.
Yeah.
And then what we did on our website, which we held off for a long time, was we never wanted to turn ads on our site, because we said, why would we let someone else advertise on our site if we want to sell our own courses and everything? But then we realized that a lot of people, one, aren't ready to buy a PowerPoint training course. Two, don't want to join another newsletter, but they were getting the solution they want, and they were just leaving. So it's like we were actually providing a valuable service to people, even if they weren't interacting or doing all these other things. So we turned on ads, and all of a sudden our content became this huge, passive. We still write content and update it, but it's
So you made money off ads now? I didn't realize.
Yeah, that was a whole brand new thing for us.
I was going to say, it's quite difficult to convert somebody who's like in a panic in the office at 7 p.m. trying to do something on PowerPoint. To get them to opt into your newsletter is quite a big ask. But presumably you still get a certain conversion rate.
About 1% of people who hit our site will opt into something. So that's about 2,500 people a month.
Yeah, which is pretty good.
It's pretty good.
And
I wish it was more.
Well, we can also
It's got to improve.
Yeah. And what are they mostly opting in for? What's the thing that really entices them?
Yeah, so we have a couple lead giveaways that are better than most, but I mean, we basically went through and just most of our blog posts you can just download as a PDF, so you can opt in just to get blog post as a PDF.
Okay.
So keep it by your desk, don't have to come back and forth to our website.
And is that something you're producing automatically, where the PDF version, the blog posts, or do you have to create each one individually?
So we make the blog post, and then we found this woman who's really good at InDesign off of Fiverr, and then she just takes it and makes makes it graphic-y and whatever, and just kind of pops the pictures in and just kind of cranks them. And they look better. We used to just copy and paste. It's obviously easy. Just copy and paste into Word, save as PDF. Not the greatest thing, but it was what we were promising. But she made it look a lot better.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. So a lot of the opt-ins are just like, give me the PDF version of this thing.
Yeah, I'd say half of the opt-ins are for some PDF, or we have shortcut cheat sheets, obviously, because people in PowerPoint want to know shortcuts, or it'll be slides. So if you want to follow along with the tutorial, we'll have a tutorial where you kind of follow step by step. So that's kind of half of it. The other half is we have more, I guess you'd call them sales and marketing funnels. So it's like a free mini series which shows you advanced hacks and tricks, and that would then lead into an actual dedicated sequence, which is trying to show you more of the course and get you to buy. So we've got about half and half, I'd say.
So your funnel's working?
They work. We're just in the process. We built our funnels 2.5 years ago, and we've never really gone back and done much to them, which is kind of embarrassing. If you get in the online world, everyone's test this and test that, and we're just going through the whole process now of kind of going back through that. And someone's helping me do the Facebook targeting, because with 200,000 people a month coming to your site, you have a huge remarketing list and Gmail remarketing list and all this stuff. So people keep telling me I'm an idiot for not remarketing, but then we get into the tracking issues. If you ever start a website, there's the tracking issues, and there's this issue, and then that thing doesn't follow with this thing, and everyone says it's so easy, and it's why is it so easy? Why can't I ever figure anything out?
Yeah, I'm often surprised once you get into the details of something, how quickly things become complicated. You go everyone's telling us we should do this, and it's actually quite complicated. So are you running any adverts at the moment?
We're just about to do a whole new Facebook one. So we were doing remarketing. So people who came to our site, because we know that they use PowerPoint. We know that anyone who comes to our site uses PowerPoint, because there's really no other way to get there. And then we were following them around with an option to join this kind of Save 40 Hours mini-series. But we were having disconnect between the Google ad network and Google Analytics with what was tracking and what wasn't tracking, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
So I put that on pause, and I've got a friend now who's super excited. So this is one of those things where you fall out in love with something, because you're just I don't want to touch this anymore. And then someone else comes in and is oh my God, this is going to be awesome. You have this, you have that, we're going to do this. And I'm yes. Let's do all of that. Let's do all of that and more. What do you want to do? Because I'm burned out for it. I don't even want to look at it anymore. Yeah,
because if you try and do it yourself in between everything else.
Oh my gosh.
It's wearing, and it's a big mindset twist, because you've got to go into super data mode, kind of geeky mode.
You need someone who wants to
just been writing content or something. That's quite difficult.
Yeah.
So by remarketing, for people who don't know, we're talking about showing adverts to people because they've been to your website.
Correct.
Fundamentally, and that's it's also very popular on Facebook. So it's very easy for you to tell. For me, for instance, I can tell who's been to my website before, or particular websites, particular pages even, and then I can run particular ads, because if they looked at a course and they didn't buy, then chances are they're at least quite interested in that kind of area. Yeah. So
I was going to say another interesting one. retargeting. If you get into websites and stuff, someone told me to start because a lot of our people are professional services people, so consultants, whatever. And I wanted to figure out what more of the people actually did for a job.
Yeah.
And so someone said, well, if you just start a LinkedIn advertising account, they'll give you a LinkedIn pixel, and then they'll just tell you all of the industries that people work in.
Oh, wow.
Even without having to run an advertisement. So I did that, and it was like, 20% of all this just random traffic that's just hitting our website are on business development. And they work for companies that are between 5,000 and 10,000 people. I mean, some of the things you can kind of like suss out, I kind of already knew, but it's just another interesting thing because of that pixel. And then they go log into LinkedIn, and then the pixel, their LinkedIn profile just populates the pixel with all this stuff and puts it on my dashboard. I can now see kind of like what industries are, which is kind of cool.
Wow, that's pretty wild. And for anyone who doesn't know what the pixel thing is, who's not up to speed on online marketing, that's like a bit of code you take from LinkedIn or from Facebook or from Google, I guess, and you embed it on every page of your website. And it means that when somebody hits your website, it triggers something at the LinkedIn back end which says this person just visited this website. Now, some people I know find this a bit alarming that they're being tracked around the internet. But I'd rather have adverts that are relevant than adverts that are just, random, buy something stupid I'm not interested in.
Yeah, I mean, the classic thing, just remarketing in action that everyone's probably seen is you go and look at a pair of shoes. Yeah. Because you really want this pair of shoes, and you go look at the news, and right next to your news article, that same pair of shoes is like sitting right there, and then you go do something else, and there's those shoes again. They're like, so the shoes are following you around the internet, just trying to remind you that you were looking at them.
And they go, all right, I'll get the shoes.
Let's get the damn shoes. So that's remarketing in action, just someone pixeling you.
Oh, that's great. And what do you spend most of your time doing? How would you say you divide up your time? I mean, are you working a lot of hours out here?
I mean, we've got lots of different things in the mix. The recent one we've been trying to do is we've known for a long time we need to start hiring people or like getting people up to speed on things so that we're not always doing everything that needs to be done. So we've been investing the last month or so, kind of learning how to bring someone on, learning how to get standard operating procedures. I traditionally haven't been a great manager because I don't want to deal with this, and so I'm trying to learn how to do that better. So if we can do that successfully with one person, we have one person right now who was working with us kind of more full time. The idea would be in 2020 to at least get another person who could really kind of like pick up the slack on a lot of these things.
So do you not have any people? You've got little bits of people like the person doing the blog post thing?
Yeah, we have like 6 people through contracts. They'll help us do our email marketing and stuff, but it's not like an actual person that's sitting on our projects 40 hours a week. Yeah. Which when you start thinking about writing blog content and rich snippets and YouTube videos and scripts, I mean, there's just this whole onslaught of stuff, and each one of those things takes 10 times longer than you ever think it's going to take you if you're going to do it right. Then at the end of the day, if you're just 2 people, it just can't get much done.
And are you doing like a 40-hour work week, or do you think you're doing more or less? I mean,
I'd probably say I get 4 to 6 solid hours of work in a day.
Yeah.
I always think I'm going to get more than that, but I typically don't. I mean, that's like actually like creating and doing stuff. We have phone calls and I try not to count on that, but I'd say 6 hours is my sweet spot where I can like be highly on task, getting stuff done at a quality level I used to stress myself out so much, and then my whole life quality, even though I was living in exotic places, was going down because I was stressing myself out about all the stuff I wasn't doing. It didn't work out very well for me.
Because it is a shame to be here and not actually enjoy it. It's a pretty amazing place. Yeah, and so what do you think, I mean, what have you learned about marketing? How fast is it moving? Do you think, I mean, you said you haven't touched the funnel stuff, the marketing funnel stuff for a couple of years, but are you seeing things moving very quickly, or is it fairly consistent for you?
You mean quickly as in people...
Things that did work, didn't work, don't work anymore, or can you see something coming down the line that's going to change things in a big way?
I mean, what will change things for us going forward is we're trying to get more data driven and stuff. It's just in the past we've had so much trouble tracking data, and everyone's like, oh, this is so easy, and they kind of was like, okay, you here you go, we'll hire you to do it, and they go and do it. It's like, I can't get it to work either. It's like, okay, well that's where I was before, so don't tell me it was easy. So we started to do these kind of smaller tests of content to see what people click on, what they do, and then we're trying to like, because once you've got like a 747 flying, you've got this like huge website of 200,000 people. It's like there's a part where you're like, to touch anything seems like this impossible thing because you don't want to break anything, but you also need to test. So we're starting to create these like smaller micro scale tests. Like we have this new convert box thing where we're like doing a quiz. It's like this like cool little quiz thing where you like come to our website and it's like, how many years have you been using PowerPoint? Oh, that's not bad. 2 years. You know, we ask 2 questions and then they all, no matter what you answer, it'll branch you off into a giveaway. And that's been super educational because of the questions we ask, and 2 is like an extra 300 or 400 people a month have been opting in through this pop-up quiz, which has given us new ideas of like kind of micro level courses or like content that we might be able to create and sell for like $7, $9, $10.
And that's called ConvertBox.
Yeah, that was called ConvertBox. There's a bunch of them. There's like a Ferrari version called like Right Message, which is like $200 a month, and then ConvertBox we bought for like some lifetime access for something much less. But it's basically just this little thing that pops up. You've probably seen them on a website, and it's just like, and you can tie it with your email autoresponder. So if someone's already like downloaded one thing, you're not offering them the same thing. And it can get fancy, but we're trying to make everything a lot simpler. I think as we cobbled our website together, people got us into all these different, this thing and that thing is doing this, and then an API is this, and it zaps over here. And I feel like we just got all of a sudden we got into like, I was like, this is all so much more complicated than it should be. We're just trying to send people some freaking emails.
It does get complicated. I mean, I tried to rig up just getting accurate stats out of Facebook and putting it in a dashboard, and we failed after several hours. And it's just there's a lot of these things where you just go like, we'll just leave that for another day. I just don't know how to solve that. I think there's a role for a data wrangler. I don't know if that's a job description yet, but there's somebody who just lives and loves data and tracking it and connecting things, and out pops a number that you can actually understand as a human being that says you spend this much on ads and you got this much back or something like that. But like you say, your hottest target market is this and this. So this is probably terrifying for anybody who hasn't got into much online marketing. But I mean, you've been doing it for 6 years, and you're running and you're running a completely online business that's doesn't require your input to deliver most of it. It's just you running the business. Well, I guess you're working on, wait a minute, which way around is it? You're working on the business most of the time. You're working out how to boost traffic and conversions, and you're not delivering courses, for instance.
No, I do both. It's a lot of the content I do write. I kind of have my own little secret formula now that I have that gets traffic and stuff. So people say, well, just hire someone in the Philippines for $5 an hour to do it. Like they're not going to do this.
No.
It just doesn't work like that. If it was that easy, everybody would have like taken all my traffic away.
Yeah. No, you've got to have some knowledge. You've got to have some deep knowledge about something. So I mean, you're probably. Do you have competitors? Not that we're going to mention them or anything, but
yeah. I mean, there's course platforms. There's other people who sell PowerPoint training, have YouTube channels and all stuff. So I mean, there's lots of people. I mean, there's 500 million people using PowerPoint. So there's lots of room for people to be selling courses. And if someone's like, well, I bought their course, I'd be like, well, that's great. I mean, as long as you're learning something, I mean, that's the whole goal, is to keep learning. So.
And you really know, I mean, the detail you go into in PowerPoint, and I know because you are on the bestseller mentorship course. We're going to talk later about your book. You're still thinking about the book.
Yeah, I mean, we still think
we're distracted by other things. 200,000 visitors a month.
You always get. There's nothing. Yeah, if you get in the online marketing space, there's always something new to be focused on or new.
Yeah.
Anyway, each one seems right, but then at some point,
it always
something
seems like
has
it's going to be quite easy.
Yeah, everything seems like an easy. Everything takes 10 times longer than you expect. You just have to like suck it up and realize. But like an easy, I still believe an easy thing would be for people to come to our site. If we had a speed training, tips, tricks book, I don't even think it has to be overly fancy because people like our tone and everything, and we could just offer it them there on our website or just offer it on Amazon. And half of my goal is just to show up in any format on Amazon because it's another large search platform that we don't currently show up at all.
And there are some people who don't, the first place to go is a book. And also, if you want press, journalists often go to Amazon. So they want to find a PowerPoint expert. They might search LinkedIn or something, but they often they'll search Amazon and find the book and then contact you. So I think that's a good strategy. So we'll have a chat about that later, where you got up to. And what are you doing next? You're actually leaving Bali, sadly.
In June 2020.
Oh, okay. So I didn't realize. So
We're
you're
just going back for the
away-
holidays.
Yeah, for a
Going
couple
back.
of months.
Last year we spent all the holidays not with our family, and we
Yeah.
got grief to no end about that. So this year we're going back for the holidays with the family.
To Seattle.
So we go to Seattle and we'll see Camille's parents as well.
Right. Cool. And then next year, looks like you might be leaving here.
Yeah, so we'll come back here in January for 6 more months, and then we're gonna move. The game plan right now is to move to Seattle, have a kid, be in Seattle for a couple of years, start that whole new venture of whatever, and then after that we're gonna do cafe culture. So moving to the old world. I really want to like move to Europe and
Oh, really?
live in France, and
Yeah.
Camille speaks French because she's half French, and I want to learn French and sit at a cafe and drink coffee and wine and keep working on my websites.
Yeah. And you know Sean and me who run this place, Sean and me, and their plan is to go towards Europe in their next travel.
Yeah.
So
Europe's amazing. Food, people. I know Bali's great, but I've been living in Southeast Asia for 15 years, so I'm like,
I'm over Europe. What would be exciting for me would be Seattle.
Oh, there you go. Well, that's another option.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's been really interesting, Taylor. We probably terrify people who are beginners to online marketing, but hopefully people have picked something up. If nothing else, they'll know, but everything's harder than people promise it's going to be. And that is actually quite reassuring.
It's reassuring. The other thing that I forget who, but someone was once telling me that they would, this is when I was back in finance, and they would always ask the owners of the company, like, what are the 3 things that an entrepreneur should know? And I always forget the first and second one, but the third one was always inaccurate information. Yeah. And he was like, what do you mean inaccurate information? I was like, well, because if you knew how hard it was going to be once you launched this thing, you would never do it. So just launch the thing and then start to steer and course correct along the way. It's like, you don't need to worry about all this stuff, like getting subscribers and save an email or a website, and then you worry about that. And then you have to worry about each step along the way. Yeah. Because it is learnable, but if you overwhelm yourself in the beginning, which is easy to do if you're listening to podcasts and someone's like, well, I've got 2 million people this, and I've got this, and a membership site and a book, and I got a press team, and it's like, well, I'm just one person. I used to be always stressed out because I don't have a team. I have myself and my wife. Yeah. So it is something you can chip away at and learn.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Any tips for me while I'm in Bali, while I'm in Ubud? Somewhere I should go to? I don't know. Might not know
Bali, the Russian spa place, the Bali Dasha. Have you been to that?
No.
Oh yeah, there's like this.
There are Russians in Ubud?
There's a whole community of Russians. They built this huge, beautiful bamboo structure with saunas and cold pools, and they have a DJ that spins at night, and it's like shishas, and it's like, I always expect like James Bond to walk through at some point. Everyone's speaking Russian, and I always take people there. It's amazing.
What's it called?
Bali Dasha.
Bali Dasha.
I think it's open Wednesdays, Friday, and Sunday. It's only 3 days you can go. It's like 150,000 rupee to get in. It's like $20 to get in. It's amazing.
Okay, that sounds cool. Good tip. All right, thanks, Taylor.
Cool. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Ideas Lab podcast. Please do subscribe, and if you've enjoyed this episode, it would be great if you could leave us a review. You can get links and details of everything mentioned in the podcast in the show notes, along with photos and video clips from many of our episodes. Just go to theideaslab.org/podcast.